Education dated September 13, 2023 to order at 7 p.m. We'll stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as presented. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
All right, settle down, fellas, right? I have a motion by Mr. Showers. Do I have a second? By Mr. Foote. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education of August 16th, 2023, and the regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education of August 16th, 2023. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
By Ms. Lucian, do I have a second?
Second.
By Mr. Showers. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, our item number 4 on the agenda are our student representatives. Welcome, right, to your first meeting. If you could start off, we'll start with you, Jacob, and you could introduce yourself and go with what's the information that you have for us.
Hello, I'm Jacob Darrell, and I'm the president of the Student Council. And last Thursday, Terryville High School had open house, and it seemed to go pretty well. There was decent attendance, and there seemed to be no major flaws in the operation of the whole event. And the music department is thriving this year compared to last year. The band only had 41 members last year, but now we're up to 58. So there's been a large improvement there, and chorus has gone from 30 to 34. However, there have been 6 males who have joined chorus, whereas last year there were 0. So there's more vocal range within the chorus as a whole. And the Friends of Music held an event over the summer to raise money. It was at the fair, the Friends of Music potato booth. You might have seen it. And there's a lot of music events going on this month and early next month, including the band camps, which are for uniform fitting and to teach the new students about the basics of marching, as well as the Mum Parade, the Big E UMass Band Day, the Berkshire League Music Festival, and there's also color guard practice too to help them get ready for those events. And Mr. Keene says the success of the Disney trip, as well as his decision to include 8th graders in the Big E trip, helped bridge the gap between the middle and high school students. And about the half days last week, we said that they went smoothly for the most part, but there was little inconvenience for the AP classes, but as a whole, it seemed to be a good decision.
Did he complain about the half days?
No, I think you said you did a decent job. Thank you. Kristian, you're up.
Good evening. My name is Kristian Kwoczala. I'm Vice President of Student Council, and I believe last Friday, September 1st, the Terryville High School senior class has hosted Senior Sunrise, where we all get together in the senior parking lot and we watch the sunrise, have fun, bring donuts, and just enjoy each other. If I'm mistaken, it did start last year with the class of 2023, and we decided to carry it on and hopefully start a new senior trend at the start of the school year. I started planning midway through the summer with me and our class secretary, Hannah Foster. We started promoting it, and it officially became a thing. We arrived 2 hours prior to when school started, so that was at 5:30 in the morning to get a good time in for the sunrise. Approximately 20 to 30 people showed up, which was a good amount. We wanted just to show a senior spirit. Majority of our seniors are now taking internships. It's going back to normal post-COVID, and our painted parking spots are now being utilized.
Excellent. Thank you. Last but not least, Mark.
Good evening. My name is Mark Lussier. I am the Treasurer Secretary of the Student Council. When I took this position back in May, I wanted to make communication my top priority. In doing so, since the first day of school, I have participated with Hannah Foster in morning announcements, making it a consistent part of our morning, making sure that students understand and know about upcoming events and other stuff like that. Overall, I would say our student life has become much more in tune. It feels like for the first time in a long time, like a normal year, a normal start to the year. Everybody feels like they're on track, and everybody feels a part of this community, and student life is better than ever. One last piece is class officer elections start next Wednesday. I've been here since 2020. Obviously, I'm a senior. I have not seen before this year the amount of passion that goes into campaigning. Students are really taking this seriously, and they're having a lot of fun with it. And overall, I think it's been a great start to the year.
Great, thank you, and welcome. Any questions or comments for our students? Yes, Mr. Perugino.
I didn't hear, are you marching into Big E this year, the band? I quit.
Yes, we are.
Connecticut Day?
I'm not, it's going to be on September 29th. I'm not sure if that's Connecticut Day or not.
Okay, and the other thing, I'm just glad to see we have all these representatives here from the student council. Can you guys get together and find out what's going on in the school and let us know? I don't understand all this stuff about, what can we do to help you guys? We can't help you in your elections. We can't, help you paint the parking lot. But, there's other things that, what do you have in that school that maybe we can help you with? That's all I'm asking.
Don't be afraid to come
Yeah,
and bring things
Yeah.
that you might perceive as slightly negative. We're open to hearing it.
Yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put the flowers on my words.
I appreciate that you guys work really hard to be in the position that you're in.
Yeah.
So if maybe you could reach out to some students who maybe are not in those leadership positions too, to kind of bring us the voice of all of the students versus, you guys obviously have a lot going on and, you're elected and you're very highly regarded in your class, but we would love to hear the opinions as well as maybe some students who are maybe a little bit less involved too. So if you could bring that to us as well, I would appreciate that.
And these guys probably don't know this, but I met with Mr. Holtz and Mr. Nave, who they work with, and I shared that with them, the board's request last year to have just more of an open dialogue of what's going on in school, and they said that they're going to transition to that as the year goes on, so we should be good. But I do agree, tapping into some of your peers that maybe are a little less connected to the school, as you said, that would be helpful as well. You guys did a great job.
Yeah.
Really?
Thank you. Great job.
Yeah, you could stay if you'd like, or you could go if you'd like. It's up to you.
Guys, you guys can go. You're all set. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
But you are welcome. It's fine.
All right. Item number 5 on the agenda, public comment. Any public comment?
Oh.
Any public comment? Okay. Please, oh boy. You can sit back now. No, please state your name and address for the record, and you're limited to 3 minutes.
Oh, that's okay. It's not going to take long. We're just here to say happy birthday, Mr. Chairman. And we brought you a little cake because today is a monumental birthday for you, and we thought everybody should know about it.
60 years old.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to add that you guys, we were blessed, 50 years ago today, the chairman of the Board of Ed was born. And who knew that he was going to be chairman? But you guys are in good hands and you're doing a great job. And we got you a little cake to say happy birthday, Walter.
Well, thank you
And I
very
tried to get
much.
Marilyn Monroe, but Barbara was,
Hit the bell.
The best you could do.
Happy half century.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the 50 Club.
Thank you. Very nice.
Did you make that yourself?
Better pull it out on the table. It's hanging.
Thank you.
enjoy your meeting.
Yes, sir. All right, here, honey. Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, thank you again. All right, item number 6 on the agenda is the superintendent's update. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to Superintendent Falcone.
Good evening, everyone. We had a very interesting start to our school year with the half days and the heat and humidity, but I'm proud to say that we had a great opening of school. Our buildings look phenomenal inside and out. Buses had minimal issues and delays. The faculty and staff are energized to be back, and our students are excited to be back, and that's the most important thing. I want to thank everyone that worked throughout the summer and that came back early, including teachers and paraprofessionals, to prepare our schools for our kids. They did an amazing job. As discussed in our board retreat, over the next few years, our district will be focusing on the board's goal of student achievement. As I've stated in the past, though, our real number one priority is academic experiences for our kids, opening the doors of our high school, providing courses that are engaging for our kids, and so we're looking at the academic experience. But throughout, since the beginning of school to now, I've went to every single faculty meeting in each of the schools, and we discussed consistent goal-setting formats and the use of planning and preparation periods, and we tweaked our focus to our benchmark and standardized test scores. So hopefully some minor adjustments that we make could take us to the next level with our test scores, and the work that I see in the classrooms could match the results on those test scores. This past Friday, I attended a Litchfield superintendent meeting. Last year when we met, the majority of the conversation focused on staffing for non-certified and certified staff and the lack of bus drivers. This year, that concern or those concerns continue for some school districts, but for us, we're pretty fortunate right now. With the work the board did in negotiating and renegotiating some contracts, we filled the majority of our non-certified positions, and we only have one certified position open at this point in time, and that's because we just posted it based on a need. But I have to say, our bus company has been absolutely unbelievable with our transportation. We have not had to have the same concerns as other districts. The other topic of conversation dealt with mandates, mostly unfunded mandates, and the timelines and expenses on the district. And you can go into the example of the kindergarten that we spoke about earlier and that September 1st start date, or you could talk about keeping students until they're 22 in our district who have need, but they all are mandates that are unfunded. And I want the board to know that since 2015, and not including the new mandates that are out this year, but since 2015, there have been 125 mandates that have been put on public schools. If you average that out in an 8-year period, that's over 15 mandates every year that we have to try to make sure we're doing legally. So we'll continue to try to meet all of these state requirements, but our focus is going to be our 4 board goals, and that is academic achievement, student engagement, well-being, and fiscal oversight. And finally, I'd like to welcome our new Terryville High School students, Jacob, Kristian, and Mark. We look forward to hearing from them, and I want to thank them for their volunteering.
Send them home.
I know, but I want to thank them still. They're on TV. I'm on TV somewhere. I'm on TV.
I'm sure they're watching.
That's all I have.
All right.
I'm scared to be criticized.
All right. Item number 7 on the agenda, new business. A couple out-of-state field trips that Mr. Falcone, due to the sensitivity of the dates, didn't have time to bring it to the board, and we authorized them. So they will be going to the Big E on September 29th, 70 musical students. And on October 7th, they're going to the University of Massachusetts, another music program. So that's good to hear. The numbers are
What are they
up.
doing up there?
I think they're playing.
Yeah, at the Big E, they're playing for the audience, but the University of Massachusetts, it's like a music festival. It's like a contest, and they all go out there.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Next item is the power landscaping equipment. Mr. Tencza, would you care to inform the board what's going on there?
Yeah, if you remember, last year we moved to, we outsourced our ground maintenance, and as part of that is the school district has a number of pieces of equipment that are no longer being used. We approached the town and asked them if they would like the equipment, and they said no, they're not interested in the equipment, so we now have the ability to dispose of it how we see fit, and that's a board decision. We have had some inquiries from both students and some staff members as to whether we would be willing to sell them the equipment. We have a couple of students who would like to start their own landscaping business. So what I'm here approaching the board to is permission to allow us to sell the equipment or donate it if, you know, someone like the Lions Club is interested in the equipment. What we have is we have 2 zero-turn pieces of lawnmowers. We have 3 line trimmers, 1 handheld blower, and a 48-inch cut walk behind. The newest piece of equipment is one of the 60-inch zero-turn mowers, which is already 5 years old. So anything other than that goes back significantly longer. So it's not new equipment, but it's still serviceable.
We don't need to get rid of it.
How do we want to get rid of it?
How? Well,
Does the Lions Club have a need?
Well, yes, the zero turns, we've got a couple of them up there already. But, you know, the school system has been very generous to us this past year with the kitchen equipment and such. I'm not gonna speak for the club, but if we can sell it or something and make something off of it, you know, I would recommend doing that. I don't think we really need any more. We've got, like I said, we've got at least 2 zero turns. We've got a couple of tractors up there.
Thank-
what do you think that's worth, Matt? I mean, you know, you're saying 5 years old, that's getting older. You know,
So the newest piece of equipment, the one that's 5 years old, I would estimate to be somewhere around $4,000, somewhere in there. If I was trying to outright sell it, you know, to anybody out there, that's probably where I would put it if it was my piece of equipment. How we want to approach it with students who are trying to start things or whatever, that's a whole different conversation.
All right, let me make a motion, we can have more discussion on it.
pardon me? What?
I'm going to make a motion, and then we can have more discussion on it.
Oh, yeah,
further.
sure.
All right. I'd like to entertain a motion to authorize the business manager in conjunction with the superintendent to sell and/or donate the power landscaping equipment the district no longer is utilizing. As they see necessary. Do I have that motion?
Second.
Mr. Foote, seconded by Mr. Perugino. Any discussion on that motion?
I know at Wamogo, they have the ASC program, and they are always looking for the donations for the kids to start their own business. So maybe if the Career Center does know of potential students, they can help guide them in starting their own business, and give them the tools that they'll need to help guide them in the right direction. Because that's what Wamogo is based on, is teaching kids how to start their own businesses and how to run them. So maybe if you can incorporate it with the 1 or 2 students that might be interested, just to give them the guidance that they might need.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I understand, you know, the sale of the equipment, but if we can help someone by donating it, I would way rather donate than sell, because it could help a child start their business or help the Lions or whatnot. So that would be my preference.
Okay, well, it's going to be up to you and the business manager. So,
Okay, there you
all
go.
right. Any further discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion carries. All right, item number 8 on the agenda, unfinished business. The Board of Education meeting dates. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the Plymouth Board of Education meeting dates for 2024. Do I have that motion? By Mr. Foote. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Lucian for the second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Right. Board policies, we had first read. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the modified policies, eliminated policy, and new policies as submitted. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Second.
All right, Karen and Mr. Perugino, any discussion on that motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, every year we have to go through this, as you well know. So, right now, they'll be going into session shortly. So, we should probably have it, I think you mentioned it before, we should get a committee. And it's all really boilerplate. Shipman and Goodwin does all the work. All we have to do is make a few corrections. Am I right or wrong in there?
I do a little work.
Pardon me?
I do a little work, but yes.
Well, I mean, I know you do.
Shipman does most of the work.
But I mean, whatever the state comes up with, right? You know, but we should get a committee together with that whole thing and just go through it. Okay. I'll volunteer for the committee. I would help.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll volunteer.
You're the chairman, and we'll talk about
I
it
don't want to
after.
be the chairman. I'll be the volunteer.
Well, so far, you're the
I'll be
only
the
one.
chairman.
All right, you're the chairman,
Wants
Mr.
to do it, I'll do
Perugino.
it.
All right,
I'm retired.
all right.
Okay.
And we'll discuss meeting dates and stuff further later.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, so Mr. Falcone has something to add.
So, in speaking with Mr. Holtz, Mr. Vigliotti, and Ms. Hurd, Ms. Satow, they were hoping that we could tighten up a policy dealing with private technology devices. And they had some language that we wanted to add that just supports them in the classroom of keeping those devices out when students take them out as distractions. And so this would be a first read, if that's okay, of that.
All right. Yeah, let's vote.
More paper.
All right, how am I going to read it?
And then 4 pine trees.
I love you to death. Okay. I'd like to modify my motion. If that's okay.
This is just a first read.
Yeah, but we're voting to adopt all the policies, and this is a policy that was first read that we're going to adapt. So we're going to have to change the motion. All right, so I'm going to modify my motion. I'm going to entertain a motion to approve the modified policies, eliminated policy, and new policies as submitted, with exception of the revised policy Superintendent Falcone just brought forward that will be considered for first read.
P-5031. Okay.
So
Yes.
moved.
Okay. Do I have that second on that motion, on the modification, Mr. Foote? Okay. Now discussion.
So I know that with the Chromebooks, you ask the children to bring in their own headphones. And I know leaving in an earbud and playing music on their phone is not the same as plugging into a Chromebook, but I don't see, like, you can use the earbuds for school time only. Like, for the Chromebook, or, I know it's like nitpicky, but I mean,
Basically, what they're looking to do is have phones out only during non-instructional time. Study halls, lunch, not really a middle school policy, because middle school, they're kept in their lockers. A lot of this is to help the high school administration, so the teachers have black and white expectations with regard to cell phone use in their classroom. Basically, cell phones are away while class is going on. Switching classes, study halls, and lunch is the only time they're allowed to be out with their earbuds.
So I'm going to call for a vote on the motion, and the revised policy that was just handed out would be first read. Any further discussion before I call for the vote?
Why would they be used during a study hall? Why would earbuds and whatever, listening to music during a study hall?
So if the kids are in a study hall and they want to use their phone, it's going to be allowed. It's really instructional time we're looking at. That's the main time. We don't want those phones out. We're trying to be realistic.
No,
with-
what I was saying was I didn't know they had study halls anymore.
At the high school, they do.
Oh, the high school?
At the high school, yeah.
Okay.
Middle school, it's not an issue.
Right.
They put them right in their lockers. The technology is not an issue. It's really, this is more of a high school support.
No problem.
Why don't the high school kids put them in their locker?
They don't use their
They
lockers.
don't use their lockers here.
They don't use,
No.
it's a really gray area, you know. You read in the paper, like, I think in Torrington, they gotta put them in a bag or something, I believe.
Pouches, yeah.
And then, you know, then the kids are saying, well, what if it's an emergency call? And
Kane or Tech as well.
I don't know, it's, you know, it's,
All right. All in favor of the motion as presented?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right. All right, item number 9, board member committee reports, finance and operations. Mr. Tencza, I will turn the meeting over to you at this time.
All right, thanks, Walt. I think Brian summed up the start of the school year pretty well. He included transportation, facilities, all of that in there, so I'm not going to repeat on that. Food service is off to about as expected start. I'm not really optimistic about it from the point of participation. We're down about 50%, which is what we talked about earlier in the year. So at the close of September, we will review the meal claims to pre-COVID September to see where we fall, to see if we're kind of falling in the same participation range. That's the only thing I can compare it to. But Jessica Peterson is doing a great job in her new role. She is fully staffed. The school year started with a couple of openings, and she was able to navigate those. So we've been going really well there. My concern, as I've said all along, is relative to participation and how that's going to go out through the year. Other than that, you know, we're off to a good start, and I leave it open for your questions to me. I know that Mr. Perugino always has blue highlights on his
Oh,
piece of
yes,
paper
yes.
already.
Right.
I'm sure that Cindy has some as well, but
yeah.
fire away, I'll answer the best I
Okay.
can.
No, I just looking at the activity report, and it says, you know, replace the cooling coil of the air handling unit damaged by the frozen pipes. Have we done anything to get them, you know, I know you replaced them, but have we insulated anything down there? Or,
So that was
I don't know what happened there.
that was a break that we had, that really cold spell, and we had a pipe break down there. It's internal, but just based on age and where the break was, we were able to recoup the cost through insurance, with the exception of $500 deductible. But that took time to repair.
Yeah, good.
So-
Just, you know, as long as you- and of course, page 9, on the budget,
Yep,
uh,
took you all the way to page 9. That's a good thing.
$188,459 for system specialist. What, is that the whole thing?
No, it's not the whole thing. First off is there is money that comes from the town to offset a portion of that.
Okay.
And then if you look further, there's some reclassifications of position that I created additional budget lines so that we can get them clear. And Becky and I have not cleaned that up with the positions yet to run against the budget.
Sure it will be. I'm sure it'll be cleaned up. And I notice a lot of the teachers are picking up getting their things in there, getting all their supplies real quick this year, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
I looked at the budget, I said, wow, they're doing pretty good.
Yep, they're ordering quick this year.
They should.
So,
Thank you, Matt.
yep. Anybody else?
I know it's been a little early, but has the van been able to go out on the road? Is that all situated?
She booked it the other day. I just got an email that came through that they were taking the kids out in the van.
So,
So
the answer is yes.
We should
It's
be
ready
up
to
and
go.
I know that we had to work through a registration piece because it was registered under the wrong category, but I know that Jim Mazon took care of that, so it's on the road.
Excellent. Any further questions or comments for the business manager? All right, moving along. Item number 10, public comment. Any other public comment?
He's coming back.
Oh, boy. Please state your name.
Dan Gentile, 269 Mount Hope Road. You brought up something that's near and dear to my heart.
3 minutes. I don't
And,
thank you for that.
And I'm glad that, yeah, I think Karen was on the board with me when we talked about that, so you guys are doing the right
I've been
thing.
on the board forever. Yeah,
I know.
We know.
But you guys, you're doing the right thing with that, and if you take the time to look it up, statistics show that your grade scores will go up. I said that, I don't know, 15, 18 years ago, so we're a little bit behind, but we're going to catch up and get it done. You're doing a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Barbara Rockwell, 70 Bemis Street, Terryville. I'm also the secretary for the Terryville Country Fair, and I'm sorry, but I think I've been a bit remiss. The school system gave the Lions Club some kitchen essentials that we have been put into use. I'm sorry because I don't know exactly what it was. I think it was like refrigerators or some kind of refrigeration unit. And we just really want to thank you for thinking of us. And again, Dick was talking earlier about, you never know what we might need up there for maintaining the whole fairgrounds. But I thank you so much, everybody, for thinking of us and helping us out by donating anything that you might not want to the Lions Club. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, seeing none, move along to item number 11 on the agenda, the board liaison reports. Mr. Perugino, Perry S. Fisher.
What about Lou?
What about Lou? He's at Plymouth
He's
Center.
next.
Huh? I'm
He's
at Plymouth
next.
Center.
Oh.
Want me to give Fisher?
No. Harry S. Fisher. The meeting was canceled yesterday. They're meeting as we speak tonight. But I also would like to just mention that the principal, Angie Suffrage, was voted into the main Hall of Fame for basketball for our high school thing. So I'm hoping to see her down at Eli Terry when we're playing the Wizards. Maybe she'll lace them up and come down and play. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right. All right, now, Mr. Zabushka, Plymouth Center.
PTA meeting took place about a week before school started, and they discussed open house. The meeting only lasted about 15 minutes. The next meeting is next week, Tuesday, so I really don't have any information.
Okay. Okay. All right. Mrs. Florenciani, the floor is yours.
Yesterday, the middle school had their open house. The PTA purchased sandwiches from Sunrise as a fundraiser and to help parents out that were leaving work and going straight to the school. From what I saw, they did fairly well. The whole top row was sold when I had left. They have the book fair. They haven't had a book fair there in a while, and one of the parents is running that. They're there until Friday. On October 16th is the Harlem Wizards. You can still purchase your tickets online. And the next PTA meeting is September 27th at 7 p.m. in the library. They're also going to try and offer a virtual option.
All right. What's up? All right, Mrs. Clussa, the floor is yours.
Yes. Terryville High School PTSA, I have not been connected with yet, so I don't know when their meetings are. I will get a hold of Mr. Holtz and ask him to do that. I will say after the elections, I would be happy to give up that post to someone else so that they can carry the torch. My kids are long past high school age at this point now, so I don't feel as relevant in that role as I used to be. At Advance, I was not able to make the last meeting. They have another meeting coming up in October that I am planning to attend, however.
Excellent.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, item number 12 on the agenda, board comments. We'll start with Mr. Showers.
I have a question more than a comment. Our November 8th meeting is the day after the election. When does our term end? Because we won't be sworn in until the 15th, the 12th.
Not till we're sworn in, right?
All right, well,
So we should be moving the meeting to the 15th.
let's take a look at that.
Just a suggestion.
All right, we'll take a look at that and we'll get some correspondence out. Okay. Is that all? All right, Ms. Tilton.
I'm just happy to hear the year has gotten off to a great start. I know my kids are very happy being back, and it's nice to meet the new young people who joined us this evening. Looking forward to a great year.
Mr. Foote,
It's good to be back.
it's good to have you back. All right. Ms. Kwoczala,
Oh, nothing really to add, just happy to be back to
the grind.
back into the swing of things.
All right. Ms. Lucian.
I'm just happy that the beginning of the year went off on a great start. Thanks.
Mrs. Florenciani.
It's funny that the half day was brought up. I had one child that loved it and one child that goes out of district, so her bus was supposed to bring her home early and begged to stay in school. So I took the drive out to Amogo to pick her up so she could stay in school so she can have cookies and culinary. So it's funny how some kids love the half day and some kids don't.
Mr. Perugino.
I'm just glad to hear that the school year went off well. And I always say this, Matt, you're doing a great job over there. Just keep it up. I'll be here to help you.
Thanks, Pat.
Oh, lucky you. Mr. Zabushka.
I was impressed with the 3 students that came in and spoke. They did a great job. They're very articulate. There was a lot of information. I thought they did a great job.
I also thought the students, nice to see them. I like the idea of them reaching out to all the demographics of the student body and bringing their voices forward as well.
Yeah.
I have some good news. As you know, the ARPA committee approved up to $250,000 for the irrigation of our athletic fields. Then it went to the Board of Finance, and they approved it as well. And then it went to the Town Council for final approval, and that was also approved. So we've been awarded up to $250,000. I know that Mr. Tencza, the superintendent, and other people are working on a request for proposal and a design to go out. So I would like to thank all those agencies and everybody involved for thinking of us. Again, I know it's that time of year and election year, but I want to say I'm proud of this board because we're not political, right? And we start noticing a lot of things in town, right? We've donated stuff to the Lions Club. The Lions Club, you know, helps us out when needed. The fair helps us out. The town council. We're all working together as a town. And I think that's the important part. I don't care what party you belong to, but it's important that we are doing the right thing for the school system. So I'm proud to see that. And, you know, as everybody knows, it wasn't always that way in town. And I'm glad that has changed and I'd like to keep that moving forward. And that's all I have. All right. The next regular meeting of the Plymouth Board of Education will be on Wednesday, October 11th at 7 p.m. in the cafeteria at Taylorville High School. And with that said, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:39 p.m.
So moved.
By Mr. Showers. Do I have a second?
Second.
Oh my God, come on. Ms. Lucian, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.